Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, and the werewolves of the zodiac. That's right, you guys are the werewolves, my fellow Cancers. Welcome to your December 2018 horoscope. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. And this video is going to be for if you have your sun, your moon, or your rising in Cancer, or if you have maybe your Mars here, your Venus here, your Mercury here, or Jupiter, or whatever. If you happen to just be cross-watching, this reading is for you. And I'm going to talk a bit about the astrology and, of course, draw cards for you for this month. And December is full of all kinds of very incredible, interesting, transformative energies, really just preparing us for this 2019, which is going to be insane. But it's going to be really amazing. And of course, now we have the North Node in your sign, Cancer. So there's definitely going to be this powerful energy coming through the Cancers now, where really compassion and healing and camaraderie is really going to come to the forefront. That's where the universe is wanting us to focus on. But of course, it's going to be an interesting nodal return to Cancer because we have Pluto opposing it and we have Saturn opposing it. And interesting enough, we actually got the card of Pluto for you, Cancer, which means that for this reading I'm going to be focusing on the Pluto transits. Now, the main thing, of course, is that Pluto is going to be opposing your sign. So, and Pluto it's been in Capricorn since I probably should have looked up the thing, but it's been opposing your sign for a while now. So you've been feeling this whole opposition to the planet of death and transformation for a while now. And this is, of course, happening in your relationship sector. So you've had a lot of relationships over the past several years that have come and gone, that have died, been reborn. Some have completely fallen away. Some people you have completely cut off. Some of you, in a lot of your relationships, really, especially the relationship that you have with yourself, and the relationship that you have with the divine has gone through a major upheaval and transformation. This is only going to rev up more now that the North Node is in your sign and the South Node is in Capricorn. And Jupiter, of course, will join this spot later on, but that won't be for another year or so. But as the Saturn and Pluto conjunction becomes tighter, and as the South Node begins to come over this spot too, there's really, as far as this Capricorn energy where Pluto is right now, which is, of course, speaking to the visions you have for the future, it really rules in many ways, like, the steps that you take to really get there in the first place. If Sagittarius sees it, Capricorn experiences it, right? So, or when you get to Capricorn, you experience it. You put one step in front of the other, you climb the mountain, you put in the hard work, the effort it takes to manifest that goal and that dream. It's also rules traditions, government, politics, orders, structures. And with Pluto here, a lot of these things are being destroyed. So Cancers, more so than any other sign, are really reflecting and representing the destruction of old relationship dynamics. And this has been happening. There's been a lot of relationship karma anyways over the past 20 to 30 years. But Cancers especially have been feeling this pretty heavily just because, especially right now, Pluto has opposed them. And then we got this Pluto-Saturn conjunction coming together in Capricorn, which hasn't happened in a long, long time. There's no one alive that has seen this conjunction. The last time these two planets came together was in Libra. But no one alive right now has seen Pluto and Saturn come together in Capricorn. And Saturn likes to be in Capricorn, and Pluto actually likes to be in Capricorn too. So this is a very rare moment that all Cancers right now are experiencing right now. So if you have incarnated as a Cancer, especially if your sun is in Cancer, you are going through a major transformational period, and you already are considered to be a rather moody sign, an emotional sign. That's why people are like, oh my gosh, Cancers are so emotional, they're so sensitive and stuff. You're the first water sign. You're the first water sign of the zodiac, which makes you guys, it puts you guys in this very unique position as being sort of like the denizens of this healing quality, this healing energy. Not only that, but you guys in many ways are like the dream. How would I say it? I was thinking dream weavers and dream talkers. You guys do a lot of dream work. Cancers do. Cancers do probably the most healing actually in this reality through their dreams. I would say Scorpios are a little bit more on the physical side, only because their opposition is Taurus, which is fixed Earth. But for you, it's cardinal Earth, which is Capricorn, which comes after Sagittarius. So it's like people can have a dream and a vision, and they want to manifest it in Capricorn energy. But Capricorn, since it's such a high vibrational Earth energy, Cancers being the opposite sign, Cancers actually crave order and structure as well, just like Capricorn, but it has to come from a more deeper, emotional, sensitive place, a more compassionate place. Not saying that Capricorns are compassionate. They just have a better, they know how to better, I guess, compartmentalize and how to separate themselves emotionally. Whereas Cancers, it's really hard for you to do that. So a lot of Cancers right now, you could be really caught up on the past because the water element is really, since water holds memory, water elemental signs, so Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces tend to focus on the past a lot. But since Pluto is here, a lot of that shit's being destroyed. So a lot of your insecurities are really being really shown right into your face, and it can be scary. But what's happening at the same time is that in order for you to really move forward, you have to allow these things to be destroyed. You have to allow these things to fall away. Because if you hold on to these energies, it's going to cause you to ice up. Look at Pluto here. Pluto, first of all, is a badass, but I like to think that it almost looks like these feathers and stuff like that, especially on his chin and stuff, it's ice. And since you drew this card, in many ways, you're kind of getting this energy where it's like, kind of like how Pluto's... Who's going to fuck with this guy? Honestly, look at him. He means business. And Cancer, you mean business. Especially now with the North Node in your sign, you mean business. Astrologically, we do have two aspects with Pluto that are happening in December that are worth noting. We have Mars sextiling Pluto at 20 degrees on December the 17th. And then a little more than a week later, we have Venus sextiling Pluto at 20 degrees. Mars is in Pisces. Venus will be in Scorpio, and these will both make an aspect to Pluto at the 20-degree mark. This is huge. This is really big because it's Pluto takes a while to go through 1 degree of the sign. So it's not like the moon will eventually cross a spot. Will cross 20 degrees of Pisces and 20 degrees of Scorpio and make this sextile well. But the thing is that you are ruled by the moon. And since it's at 20 degrees, 20 in numerology reduces to 2, which is ruled by the moon, which is ruled by Cancer. So the fact that we have Mars energy, which in many ways we can see that as our masculine energy, and then we have Venus as our feminine energy, the fact that both of these are going to be sextiling Pluto, the planet of death and transformation, at 20 degrees, at a number that really rules you, means that you are going to be very much so sensitive and tapped in to the influence and the energies of these planets. So really just be on the lookout from December 17th to December 28th. You're going to get the Mars side of you, the initiation, the wanting to move things forward and act. And of course, since it's going to be in Pisces, this has to do with your dreams, right? So your fantasies, your what you consider to be magical. Yeah, since this is a sextile, this is bringing about an opportunity, sex, where you actually are going to be able to create something. And Pluto, of course, rules sex as well. So, but in order for you to create space for this newness to be born, right? In order for you to create space for this newness to be born, you're going to have to allow some things to fall away. So it's like with the sextiles, it's not so much that you that you can just create something. You had to give something as well. So that's what sex is. You give a part of yourself to someone, and then these energies come together to create anew. So it's going to happen with Mars first, and then it's going to happen with Venus. So you're going to get pay attention to how your energy is, and if you know any cancers, pay attention to the middle of the month. You're going to see them go from being probably very fired up, initiated, and very passionate, especially since the sun's going to be in Sagittarius, so there's going to be this fiery energy as well, this fiery elements. And then the great thing about Mars and Pluto is that you kind of get this mutual reception where Mars doesn't really like to be in Pisces, but it does co-rule Scorpio with Pluto. So they're going to kind of be working with each other. And then you have Venus, which doesn't like to be in Scorpio, but it is going to be out of its retrograde zone, so that's nice. So you'll be experiencing and kind of opening up to new boundaries and new trust in people and situations. And it's this kind of opening up of kind of just trusting your intuition, trusting that your dreams can be made a reality, and trusting that, if you allow yourself to be open to the experience, if you allow yourself to detach from things that no longer serve you, you will find that come the 28th, really come the end of the month, especially when Mars goes into Aries right at the end of the month on December 31st, you're going to really feel a lot better emotionally. You're not going to be so caught up on what didn't work in the past. You're going to be focused on what's going to work in the future. So card-wise, we do have the card of the Fool. Wow, this is amazing. And honestly, this is the energy I have been feeling really all day. And the day I'm filming this is the 28th of November. But the Fool here is saying that, and this card almost wanted to come out too when I was pulling it. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So what this can mean is that your intentions definitely can be in a great place where you want to help other people. But you can be fooling yourself into giving away too much of yourself prematurely. I think that's why this Mars sextile Pluto and this Venus sextile Pluto, really after these happen, really after the 28th, you're going to feel in a better position to give of yourself, to be of more of service. So you may have a dream that's foolish where you want to help. Because this is one I see on Facebook and stuff like that with different advertisements. It's I want to help 5,000 spiritual entrepreneurs create 5,000 successful businesses over the next 5 years so we can raise the vibration of the planet. I've seen that a few times. And that could be one of your goals, Cancer. Or your goal can be as simple as, I want to, maybe you do want to donate to charity, or maybe you do want to donate your time to a food kitchen or something, or maybe you have a friend who's moving across the country and you want to help them move or something like that, which could honestly be a great opportunity, especially with Pluto being opposing your energies. Some of you all are definitely maybe whisked away onto an adventure where you kind of uproot yourself from where you are and go off somewhere else. So the Fool is saying that the adventure is yours and you can really go anywhere you want. Just be careful that you're not giving away too much of your power. And Cancers have a tendency to do this, where Cancers are naturally very empathic people. So a lot of times what they'll do is that they will give so much of themselves away, but they don't know how to reserve any energy for themselves. They don't know how to protect their own energy. They'll give and give so much that they leave themselves with barely any water, with barely anything in their cup. So really the goal for you, Cancer, is to make sure that your cup is full before you go out. And it's kind of funny, full, right? Make sure your cup is full before you go out and serve. That's really important. That's honestly great advice for all the signs, but for you especially with the North Node being in your sign, this next year and a half is actually going to be the revival and the upgrade of the empath. Because no longer is it going to be this whole victim attitude that kind of overshadows empathic people. This whole believing that you're a victim or that you're just overly sensitive and that you can't get along. This North Node is actually going to make some Cancers more sociable. You're going to come out of your shell a bit. But like I said, you want to make sure that your cup is full before. And this whole North Node activating your energy, like I said, especially if you have your Sun here, if you have your Moon here, your Rising here, your empathic abilities are going to evolve. So you're no longer outsourcing so much of your power, and you actually can start every day by feeling great. And this is as simple as creating a daily routine for yourself, or creating a sacred space for yourself, and just acknowledging that awareness that everything is okay, that you are safe, that you are pure, and that you are here, that you are well, that you are whole. And doing that every morning before you leave for your day will be this is really all the protection that you need, because Cancer rules the home, and the home is meant to be a sacred space. So if your home isn't necessarily a sacred space, if your home seems to be, if you have like a hectic home life, at least carve out some time, carve out at least 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, every single morning, and everyone really should do this, I should do this, but carve out 10 to 15 minutes every morning, more if you can, that's amazing, to acknowledge the sacredness of the home, because ultimately, this body is the home. This is like ultimately like the home, even though these bodies, you know, we temporarily occupy this body. And yes, I'm in an apartment right now, and this is my home. This is my home. And, you know, the mind too. Like, you have to really, this is a very important month for mental health. I've noticed that this has come up in the readings that I've done so far, how mental health is really important. Let's cut the deck and see what we got here. We got the card of Strength in reverse. So some of you may not be feeling strong, probably because since you're having to actually give more to yourself this month and not worry about filling up everyone else's cup, take a hint from Aquarius. You can't heal everybody. Aquarius is a humanitarian, sure, and they're the water bearer, sure, but Aquarius won't necessarily waste their time too much on one particular person or one particular group. Cancer will do that, and there's a time and place for that. This month, I'm sorry, is not the time and place for that. This is not the time and place for you to focus on one person or one group. You got to take care of yourself. If anything, it's time to really focus on you. But the Strength card is like, you're going to actually have to have the strength to tell people no. You're going to have to actually have the strength to tell people no. These are my boundaries that I set during Scorpio season, and this is my intentions moving forward. There's definitely a great adventure. There's definitely a great adventure that you are going on. And yes, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be of service to other people and wanting to give of yourself. But are you giving away too much of yourself? Could be taking away from your strength and your power. Let's cut the deck again. We have the Knight of Pentacles here. We have the Knight of Pentacles. I'm going to turn over each of these parts of the deck. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Wands. And then we also have the Moon card. We have your card. So this is awesome. This is what I kind of see is going on with this one. I feel like in many ways the Knight of Pentacles is you in a sense. It also could be an earth sign. It could be an influential Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn in your life. But there is some situation that has to do, like I said, when I think of the Knight, I think of someone who's just recently gone through this initiation, and Knights are also a very action-oriented court card. In many ways, they can represent kind of sweeping motions, sweeping events that happen in our life. And the Knight, in many ways, charges forward. The great thing about the Knight of Pentacles is that he is probably the most tempered and most balanced of the Knights. The Knight of Wands will just really rush into battle, not even really thinking about it. The Knight of Swords will try and think their way through a situation. They can be a bit rash too. The Knight of Cups may be a little bit more reserved, but they can definitely get caught up in the fantasy and the dream. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. The Knight of Pentacles is really definitely more concerned about security, comfort, stability. This is also going to give several of you an opportunity to make more money this month. And I see that there's one of three paths that you can take. You may end up taking all three paths, and you probably will. But one of them right here is the Ten of Pentacles, which is speaking to, if you actually have the strength to fill up your cup first, or to make sure that your cup is full first, you're going to achieve that success. You're going to achieve that good life. We have the Nine of Wands. So if you take this path, some of you may be preparing for the worst, especially with Pluto here. Some of you may be preparing for something to fall away. So, and sometimes when we tense up too much, it actually is not good for us. It's kind of like, anytime that you are, like, say, I'm having this terrible image, but it's like you're about to get into an accident, right? You usually tense up before, like the body tenses up, usually subconsciously before it happens. Or, what's another example? Just really, and like there are moments where your body will tense up because it's preparing for something to happen. So the Nine of Wands is like you're standing there with your army and you're like preparing for something to happen. You're preparing for maybe the worst to happen. But we also have the card of the Moon. So this is why I feel like you may take one of three of these paths, but you may take all three, because since the Moon is here, and the Moon is your card, it's your energy, it's going to be like you're automatically going to fall back on that energy in the Moon. So definitely, Cancer, super important for you to follow the Moon cycle. And here's something interesting I'm going to say. I told this to my dad yesterday. I've been kind of feeling this weird, interesting energy with the Moon, because I've been feeling this sort of like, I want to connect to the Moon, but I've been feeling like this disconnect at the same time. And maybe if you have this experience, Cancer, since you are ruled by the Moon, you can either confirm or deny it, and I guess it depends upon the person, but I feel like the Moon that we see right there at night, I don't feel like it's the same Moon that I was born under. And it's kind of weird. I feel like there's an energy vacuum that's happening with our Moon, which, and it's either an energy vacuum that's happening or it happened already. That's why we're in the emotional dark age. So it's like, but the Moon that we see there is a reflection of whatever that celestial body is within us. And it probably isn't even called the Moon. It's probably called something else, something that actually is resonant with your source, with your highest self. It's probably not even called the Moon, but it's just a reflection of that celestial body that's within you. So, and it's not that I don't like the Moon. I love the Moon. I love looking at the Moon. It's so beautiful and it's so mystical and very magical. But there's just something about it here lately where it just hasn't felt the same. I don't know. And maybe a lot of Cancers can feel this way. Things just don't feel the same. And they're not the same. Things are changing rapidly. And we're just kind of experiencing it. It kind of feels like we're experiencing it in slow motion. Especially if you consider yourself spiritual or part of the New Age and you walk this path, you see synchronicities every day and stuff. You probably feel like you're moving really fast and really slow at the same time, and it's kind of like trying to run with like a parachute, it's kind of like the resistance and strength training, those athletes that run with like a parachute on their back. That's how it can feel, and it feels like we're actually getting faster, but it also feels like there's actually more resistance. But this parachute's about to be clipped off, and we're about to just rocket forward. It's almost going to be like we take a hyperspace jump when this parachute is severed. And I don't know when this is going to happen. I assume, and this is a dangerous thing because if you make an assumption, that makes you an ass and the will shun you. 2 points to anybody who knows the reference of what I just said. But I feel like that this parachute that we've all been kind of running with is going to be clipped when Pluto goes into Aquarius. That's when we're going to make like this hyperspace jump. But it's coming. And Cancer, I definitely, like I said, maybe you feel this. Like maybe it's been tougher for you to connect with the Moon. But what is happening is that I've noticed is that like there's this rev up of energy, especially like this past week when the Moon was in Cancer. I felt that Moon so much. I don't know, it's because Cancer is my 8th house, so it made me very moody. I was very just deep into my feels, and I I was like, oh my goodness, it was pretty crazy. So pay attention to the moon. Let's cut the deck with the moon. We had the stars, so maybe I was right. Maybe that parachute will be cut when Pluto comes into Aquarius. We got some time until then, so utilize this time to your advantage, absolutely. But know that you are being guided by your guides, by your friends in high places, because it's not. Your guides are here to help you, but you're here to help them as well. They're your friends. Look at them as your friends, your pals, your partners. You know what I'm saying? Let's cut the Knight of Wands to kind of see the outcome of this one. We had the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands. So I see this as you have the decision to either walk into conflict or walk away. That's really as simple as I get. And then we cut the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Emperor card. So we have the card of Aries. So some of you, and Aries could be very influential right now. Aries, of course, squares your energy. But I feel like this is about clearing your mind. This is about clearing your mind, the Emperor card. And when you clear your mind and you have you have a clearer vision on what you want to manifest and bring forth, and you trust your intuition, and you know that you are here as a healer. And the reason why I call you guys the werewolves is like, yeah, you're transformed by the full moon and stuff, but the wolf itself, which is actually a totem animal of Capricorn, your opposite sign, it's interesting because the werewolf goes through like this magical transformation, right? And like the wolf is such a deep sign of wisdom. I've done meditations where I would envision myself running with wolves, and it is some of the most exhilarating energy I've felt. Just running and just seeing the trees whip past you, and it's like you can see your breath. It's like I had a vision. I had this meditation that I did where I transformed into a wolf, and then we got to this lake. I took a sip out of this lake, and the moon was big and bright, and I howled to the moon, and it was amazing. So a lot of you Cancers right now, you are really going to become aware of the werewolf within you, and people might be like, oh no, Cancer is so, you're so emotional and so moody, whatever like that, so sensitive. But then you're going to bring this power out. That's this Emperor. You're going to bring this power out. You're going to be like, oh, So be on the lookout. Cancer's about to just start howling at the moon like it's no one's business. They're about to and people are going to be like, why are you howling at the moon? And Cancer's like, because this whole journey is so foolish. 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 Fullish. Full. You're wanting a more full experience, and you absolutely deserve it, Cancer. You absolutely deserve it. That is it for your reading, Cancer. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below too, astrofenixx.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.